Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And today, if you guys, this is another Harry Potter movie review. Today we're tackling the penultimate film in the Harry Potter franchise, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. It's going to be that one in the bottom left right there. Of course, this is my very first time seeing the movie in HD, because again, just got this on Blu-ray. Of course, if you saw my Half-Blood Prince review, you know that. But look, just getting it out of the way, this is probably, I'm going to watch Part 2 tomorrow, but so far, I think this is probably my favorite Harry Potter movie, for a lot of reasons. But before I get into it, I just want to tell you, I'm going to have my own little short video, so not an actual video, but the YouTube shorts. Just telling you here too, I'm going to Universal for about 5 days. So yeah, I will not be posting. I'm not bringing my laptop. I'm just going to go. I'm going to take pictures with my phone and put it on there. But just to let you know, I'll be at Universal for a few days, and I won't be posting. So I'll try my best to get the Part 2 review out before I go. If not, sorry, it may be a bit of a wait. But when I come back from vacation, of course, I'm going to, everything's back to normal. But anyway, going back to the Part 1 review, this is probably my favorite movie so far for a lot of reasons, right? This is not the most fun or funny or, lighthearted or, wonder-filled Harry Potter film, right? It's not. It is probably the darkest and the saddest and the most mature in a lot of ways, right? They're not in school, they're on the run, you know what I mean? It's a very slow burn of a movie. And I say that in the best of ways, you know what I mean? Like, there are some people that go, oh, the Fantastic Beasts movies are, this film, for example, they're too effing slow and there's just so much talking. And, I get it. Those types of movies aren't for everyone. A lot of people just like Harry Potter. Part 2 is their favorite just because of all the crazy boom action, and I love that stuff. But at the same time, this film really got to the core of Harry, Ron, Hermione. And, again, treated the situation with maturity, because yes, they are not adults yet, yes, they are still teenagers, but they are dealing with heavy adult mature themes, right? Freaking Voldemort's going to try to murder everyone. Everything is essentially going haywire and going topsy-turvy, so they have to treat that with, they can't have, Ron makes jokes, but they can't have Ron going bupsy every scene, you know what I mean? Or babbity rabbity, whatever, he can't be doing that. So there is a lot of slow scenes, there's a lot of talking, there's a lot of stuff that happens in this film. Even the shots themselves, a lot of them are framed very beautifully. I think this is probably the best looking Harry Potter movie in a lot of ways, but it also is, again, the slowest in terms of the editing, right? Like I said, there's a lot of talking, but going back to the shots, there are, literally just frames of them just, standing there. Or they'll David Yates has like a freaking, the director, he'll have like a tent, and you'll see the tent for like 5 seconds, or you'll see a close-up of Hermione as Ron is talking, and it's slowly panning into her, something like that. And that type of filmmaking works for this type of movie. If they did that, if David Yates, who did all the way from Order of the Phoenix all the way until Crimes of Grindelwald, he basically heralded the whole thing since year 5. If he did, say, Order and Half-Blood Prince and even Part 2, the same slowness of the editing and the writing and everything as Part 1 of this film, Deathly Hallows, it wouldn't have worked. And that's why this movie's so unique, you know what I mean? It literally, they are on the run. They're just going from freaking forest to forest or area to area. And then there are action scenes. There's an action scene in the beginning, where you see Hedwig die and all that. There's a lot of death, a lot of sadness in this film. This is, like I said, it is by far, even compared to Part 2, this is probably the darkest Harry Potter movie, right? Lots of loss, lots of death, lots of just kind of grieving, you know what I mean? Like, it's a different style of film. If you look back at Sorcerer's Stone or even Chamber of Secrets, you know what I mean? Yes, those movies had mature adult themes, but, they were in school and they were younger and there was more funny things. And, it was more of a simpler time in the lore. And now you look at this film and, literally they're on the run and they're getting chased in the woods. And, like, this crazy shite is happening left and right. And that's what makes it so unique and so fun, in my opinion. Again, it's kind of like I don't want to say the Batman. It's kind of like Joker in that, whenever I don't watch Joker because it's a fun, funny movie. I'm like, yeah, let's watch, like, I walk away from Joker emotionally effed and drained. You know what I mean? But that's why it's such a good film. This film, I also kind of walked away a little bit drained, you know what I mean? Not because I was having a bad time or because it was so boring I couldn't take it, but because the movie was so slow and dark and mature and just, grieving that, you really have this sense of grief yourself when the movie ends and Dobby dies and you're like, Jesus Christ, they ended the movie on a freaking burial and Voldemort getting the Elder Wand. One of the best cliffhangers in movie history, I think. Really pumped you up for Part 2. But I think one of the, if I could give one scene, and I love the whole film, but one scene that stood out to me as, perfectly encapsulates this entire film, perfectly, you know, rounds it all together, is actually the scene where Harry and Hermione are dancing in the tent when Ron kind of pisses off. He leaves. He gets all mad. He leaves, and you know, it's just Harry and Hermione for a while, right before Bagshot, Nagini, whatever, all that. Before that scene, there's just a scene of them. You know, Hermione's wearing the locket. She's all sad and depressed and all that because the locket, you know, makes you more aggressive and all that because it's a Horcrux. And you see Harry just kind of, you know, offer Hermione his hand and they dance. And it could have been done so many ways, but they did it in a way where it starts out very kind of dark, and not dark, but, you know, more sad. And then, you know, you slowly throughout the dance scene, the music picks up. You see Harry smile. You see Hermione smile. They're having fun. They're dancing. They're just goofing off and having fun. And for a brief moment, it's like they're not in this hell. You know what I mean? They're just enjoying each other's company as friends. Maybe even a hint to something more if Ron never came back. And then the music slows down. You know, they stop dancing, and Hermione's face slowly starts, you know, going back down from a smile to more of a, you know, saddened face, and then they just kind of walk away. You know, it's like, all right, we're back to it. You know what I mean? It's like going on vacation, and then you get back, and you're like, oh shit, next day's work or school. You know, same thing. It's that same moment where, you know, they start off sad, they have a little bit of fun, and then they're quickly brought back into the real world, and they're reminded of the gravity of the situation. And then it's exactly why I love this film, is that it handles really funny moments and handles fun moments in sparsity, in you know, sparse ways where you look at it and you're like, wow, this is cool, and then you're like, oh, okay, we're you know, not only are they sucked back into this, you know, like I said, grave situation, the audience is as well, and then you're like, oh, okay, we're gonna go back into it. So again, you know, they could have easily had this just be dark and slow and boring, but they did have it dark and slow, but it wasn't boring because they you know, they had some action, they had some funny moments. They, you know, I think the pacing in this film is really effing good. And as far as only negatives, you know, maybe one or two lines from Dobby. You know, me personally, I was sad when Dobby died, even, you know, knowing that it happened, even, you know, rewatching it. But I think that, you know, having Dobby really only appear in like 2 movies kind of sucks because, you know, look, Dobby meant a lot to Harry, but for me, you know, he died, I was like, oh, it's sad, and I feel something, but I would have felt more connection to Dobby, and I would have felt more sad if there was more of him. You know what I mean? He's barely in the freaking franchise. He's in like 2 movies tops. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. So yeah, you know, I did feel something. I'm not a cold-hearted killer, but at the same time, it was a bit, a little bit lackluster. You know what I mean? I think they could have had him, and I know they're following the books. I get it. I'm not stupid, but you know, maybe she should have wrote, or you know, Stephen Kloves or Loves, whatever. You know, the writer maybe should have written Dobby into more scenes. I don't know, but I feel like he was in it too little for me to care too much. Other than that, you know, that's it. I mean, I really don't have that many negatives. This is probably my favorite Harry Potter movie. I mean, it's the closest one I have to, you know, a complete masterpiece in my opinion. I love them all. You know what I mean? Even the ones I give A's and A minuses to, you know, there's little nitpicks here or there, but I genuinely love all 8 of these films. And this is, so far, again, I'm going to be watching part 2 tomorrow, or whenever you see this video. You know, definitely, you know, the next day after watching it. But again, I'm really struggling to think of the negatives. I think there was, you know, maybe one, like I said, Dobby, and there's one thing Dobby says, "Me more seriously," and it's like, yeah, it's funny, but I don't know, it's funny. I get, he was, to me, it felt like Dobby was there for like the commercials, you know, of the shout where he snaps, and when he says the funny bit, you know, it's a funny bit. But they play, you know, that would be perfect for a thing in all the trailers, you know what I mean? So I feel like he's in it a little too little. I get it, you know, like I said, they're based on the books. I didn't read them, okay? I didn't read them, so maybe he's in more of the books. I don't know. But overall, I enjoyed it. I think it has, you know, a lot of drama, but it didn't feel forced or cringy. It felt real. It felt earned. The story is really good. The CGI is top tier. You know, the funny moments are there. I think this is genuinely one of the best looking, if not the best looking Harry Potter movie. Prisoner of Azkaban looks really effing good too, though. So I think Prisoner and Deathly Hallows Part 1 are tied as the best looking in terms of their composition, the shots, you know, all that. But I really did enjoy this film, and I you know, I can't get enough of it. I know it is a dark movie. It's depressing, and I'm not a dark, depressing kind of guy. But at the same time, you know, it is very well made. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? You know, it can be funny, it can be dark, whatever. If it's a good movie, it's a good movie. And I do think, you know, as of right now, this is still my favorite one. Again, I got part 2. I know it happens. I know all these movies by heart, but, you know, maybe I'll pick something else up that I haven't. But seeing this in HD on Blu-ray for the first time, you know, because I originally saw this movie. This was one of the first ones I saw. I saw them out of order. Because when I was a kid, I'd always, like, my mom would, like, watch, you know, the end scene, see if there's any scary shit. And there was in this film. And, you know, she was like, no, when you're older. And when I got of age, I watched it on DVD, and I was like, this is a cool-ass franchise. But and especially when I didn't have these glasses, I was borderline blind. I'm like, it's cool, but I don't know what the fuck is going on. So finally, with glasses and a 1080p disc, it feels, you know, circle is complete. Definitely Hallows circle is complete. I cannot wait to watch part 2. Part 2 is the only one I have seen in Blu-ray before. It kind of sucks because I watched Harry Potter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on DVD because I got that Blu-ray box set, you know, pretty poopy timing. If I went to Barnes & Noble before I started this, it would have been a lot better. But, you know, I'll rewatch them again, don't worry, probably next year sometime. And, you know, I'll see the other ones in HD for the first time too. But I'm going to give Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, I'm probably going to give it an A+. I know I said one negative, but look, this film, all of the positives completely overweigh that to a point where it really isn't even mentioning the whole Dobby thing. It's more of a nitpick than a negative, you know. I do honestly think maybe you can go, oh, okay, the woods chase scene is a bit sporadic with the filming. It's kind of like, you know, it's almost too insane where it's like, what the hell is going on? You know what I mean? It's like shot, cut. You know, I get it. Of course, they did that for a reason, to make it feel disorienting for a reason, because they're running through the freaking woods. But, you know, maybe it could have been a little more smooth. But again, at this point, I'm nitpicking. I am going to give it an A+. This is probably, like I said, my favorite one. I love everything about it. The music, the credits, the fact that it's just a black screen. You know, it's not some kind of crazy flying in, you know, magic thing. You know, it's a very, like I said, it's a dark, mature, handled film, and they could have handled it so many different ways, and it could have actually backfired in so many different ways. And the fact that it actually came together in the end and made, you know, a very dark and depressing and sad movie, but, you know, still had some fun moments, some really cool action scenes, and a really awesome banging cliffhanger. So again, A+. Tell me in the comments down below what you think about Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. Again, at the time of me going to Universal, I'm going to try my best to get the Part 2 review out. If I don't, I'm sorry. You're going to have to wait a few days until I come back. But we'll see. You know what I mean? I have college now, so the editing, I'm going to try to get something done. If not, you know, it is what it is. But I'm going to make it short about it, you know, kind of explaining the whole situation with Universal. So look out for that. Might even be out. I don't know. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Again, this is probably, in my opinion, so far, again, I got one more, the pinnacle of Harry Potter. So we're gonna end the spell with, you know, another thing here. This is Snape's wand, and don't tell him I got it. I guess in the franchise fanatic lore, he's not dead yet, so this is, I guess, before Part 2. But still, I do think that, you know, I've been blowing myself up, as you guys have known. My eyebrow grew back, and my eyebrow grow back. Yeah, whatever. And look, someone in the comments, I'm not going to name a name, it was a very, very long time ago, one of my very first videos, said, hey, franchise, why don't you do Expulso? Now, I know what that spell does. It explodes. It's like a bomb. So I figured, you know, I'll try it. We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? What could go wrong? I've blown up so many times, I'm basically immune to it, alright? I'm immune. Anyway, before I get on to the spell, like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. I got one more Harry Potter review, and I got a whole lot of awesome stuff coming up. Again, I'm not going to be taping Universal, but I'll take some pictures, I'll put it on the community tab. It's going to be great. Alright, here's the spell. Ready? I swear to God if I blow up. I swear. Okay? This is probably going to be a dumb idea, and no one's down here. I'm filming by myself at night, so no one can vouch for me. Here we go. All right. If I blow up, no one gets the channel. All right. It's still mine. I own the name. Okay. Here we go. Ready? This is a bad idea. Whatever. Expulso.